Wow, wow, wow. Hello, everyone. How are you? I think I hope everything's is well. Yes. Okay, so we are starting our first tech talk this year. And let me introduce Tair. Tair is an experienced engineer who will now tell us about pros and cons of combining different roles on a project. Okay, please, Tair, go ahead.
Yeah, greetings everyone. Glad to see you. Not soon, but I'm very glad you to be there. Glad to meet you here. And I believe that we can start with our presentation. Let me share my screen and let
Mhm.
me know if you see it.
Yes, we see it.
Yeah, great. So, guys, today I'm going to tell you and share you my experience about the working as quality assurance and business analyst for one project. And before we start, I would like to inform you that the following story is totally based on my exclusive background, and the following story describes working on the one project only. And actually, I don't claim to be correct in all aspects. Hope everything is clear for you, and we can continue. Um, Let me say some words about my experience. I have been working in PAM since 2021, and my primary role in company is quality assurance engineer. Currently, have been working as associate business analyst at PAM Feedback Portal project. Um, Being a part of the company, I like it to work with the various reputable companies in the market of Europe, Asia, and North America. Here a list of EPAM customers I have contributed for. These companies are specialized in such areas as banking, retail, telecommunications, pharmaceuticals, and tax administrations industry. And in my opinion, all provided materials will be useful for you in two cases. First of all, if you are a QA engineer who is eager to acquire new BA skills purposefully, or if you just want to try yourself as a business analyst and you would like to gain appropriate background. Let's continue with the next chapter. Um, In May of 2024, I was lucky enough to join the team of the one of the most famous customers of Thomson Reuters, was a specialized tax administrator. By the way, the Thomson Reuters is one of the largest EPAM clients, and the stream I was recruited to was aspired with development of system tracking and storing taxpayers' data. We have started the development web application. Um, During the acquaintance, I turned out that the customer budget doesn't include a separate role of the business analyst, and initially it was assumed that the product owner was going to be responsible for working with requirements, preparation for identifying, drafting, and presenting them to the team, collecting feedback, etc. However, at that moment, I was hatching the idea of trying myself in the direction of business analyst. At that time, I have organized a meeting with the management team, with the product owner regarding my role alignment issue. At that time, my initiative was approved almost immediately, and we agreed to dedicate the next meeting to work on roadmap and discuss the details with the correspondent related questions. At the last project, there were a huge number of various tasks, and I have started my BA experience with the series of calls where my stakeholder and with me we are discussed the planning within list of epics for the short and the long term. Thanks for assistance of my colleagues, I was able to update and prioritize the list of epics before agreement with clients. Since at that time we were discussing among clients about what we should take in the as a first priorities, our MVP, and what we could take in the work a bit later. At the very moment, I began to put myself, to be honest, put myself in user shoes, let's say, and threw on ideas about what I would like to see in application in the first, in the second, and subsequent quests. Um, During the communications with our dear stakeholders, we proposed our view regarding Epic and their prioritization together with the leaders of the specified teams, such as front end, back end, and QA, DevOps as well. We also demonstrated our vision of the concept of business requirements in vision statement format to match the vision pictures from the client and our one. The next activity, sorry, the next activity was the gathering the elicitation requirements, preparing testing docs, and representing them to business stakeholders. After agreeing and after approval the business requirements and discussing the roadmap, as a tester at the same time as a BA, I had to work identifying with requirements. At that time, the task was to collect question for each type of requirement, such as functional, non-functional, user, transitions, according to certain epics before each session and invite stakeholders. For all these activities, it's not difficult to guess, were related to BA. As a quality assurance engineer on the testing side, I was simultaneously creating a checklist for our future checks and trying to include as many checks as possible. Test cases also. The entire list of checks was obtained during the brainstorm and within testing team, and where we writing it, I looked at the product through the eyes of the user as well. Our cases were also considered when drawing up as functional requirement and non-functional requirement. Our team was trying to identify as many cases as possible, and which we could identify a lot of as more bugs as possible in advance and fix them before releases, making the application better and, let's say, more user friendly. In this way, we provide to our client that our priority is quality and user convenience. And it's also important to notice that as a tester, I use the checks to specify the exceptions criteria in detail, which will corresponded to the definition of done. Um, the next activity was dry run for quality assurance and business stakeholders. When our user story or task or change request document type was ready to deploy on a test and user UAT environment, we agreed to developer to provide demo how the future was working at that time. The usual practice case, tried to invite some stakeholders, for example, and the product owner one within the quality assurance team lead on the customer side to watch the dry run process and provided them with the answers on their questions. And I would like to notice that our stakeholders didn't join us every time. In these situations, we recorded our sessions and share with them offline. And this practice, by the way, was useful from the product quality point of view and helped us to align, feature behavior with requirements, reveal bugs, reveal new requests if it was needed. In this way, we understood whether our needs, our objectives, and desired outcome view correlated with our business expectations as well. Being a tester, I interacted with the testing team on the client side. As I mentioned previously, that also had a lot of sessions with the quality assurance team lead on the customer side, and it was extremely important to to carry out the regression process on the project and keep the test documentations up to date. The testing team on the customer side was very specific. I often answered many questions about the requirements, including those that were repeated every time. To save time on the necessary activities and efforts, I decided to, let's say, apply the practice of writing corner cases and various charts and put them in segregate tickets. Also, I collected the reviews and statistics um, after the regression performance and provide them to the stakeholders to see what the percent of quality was raised up or decreased vice versa. So here is it. Um, Also, regarding the next activity I'd like to share with you is about the feedback within the pre-release demo, collect feedback from the user. Um, After completing the sprint, we usually conducted the demo. Together with the project manager and the product owner before and the team leader, we discussed beforehand what has already been done on the and tested now and tested on our side, of course. And after that, we were investigated how many tickets had been covered during the current sprint or current iteration, and which tickets were moving from the to another sprint while remaining in the backlog. And during the event itself, we told the invited participants what had been done, share with them the corresponding results, and what value our solutions carried on. And after that, we collected the appropriate feedbacks. We created the specified documentation, the tasks or change request tickets type if necessary. And at that time, we were conducting a survey among the users of our application, gathering the statistics and gathering their feedbacks as well. What else would they like to see in our application, which kind of improvements, enhances, etc. Um, Being on this chapter, I'd like to talk about the benefits of combining of the both roles. And the first benefit and the first pros I would highlight is clearer understanding of requirements is quite important, because being as a BA, you will have a deep knowledge of the business needs, which help you to design your test case better. and directly map to our requirements, and I think that this reduced the chances of miscommunications and misunderstanding before business team, developer team, and testing team as well. The second point I would like to highlight is about advanced communication or improved communication, because having a dual role ensures clear line of communication between both of technical and business teams, streamlining the development process. The next point is about the faster feedback loop. Since you involved in both analysis and testing process, you are able to quickly identify whether the development solutions meets the business needs, and in this case, you might provide feedback to developer faster. And the fifth one, the last one, is about the efficient gains, because working on the both roles, you are working across the both roles, which can lead to better understanding of potential gaps in requirements, and you can immediate clarification, saving time in communication delays, core creep. So that's it about pros. I can go next, and the second part, and the now it's time to tell about to talk about the challenge, or even disadvantages, I would say. The first one is the role confusion. Sometimes, the responsibilities of tester and business analyst might be conflict and might contradict to each other. For example, as a BA, you might need to advocate to protect the features and changes that the tester might consider risky or difficulty to implement. Regarding the difficult management, time and workload management, I would say that balancing with responsibilities of the both roles can be time consuming, and it could lead to burnout if not managed carefully. Both roles require third attention to details and a high level to focus as well. It's very important. Bias toward work. I'm sorry, this is about the difficult prioritization issues or limited objectivity. Yeah. Um, Being immersed in both roles as BA and tester side, it can create some challenges between in being fully objective about the whether a future truly meets to business needs or technically sounds. Also, both of the tester and business analyst, you can face competing priorities. Sometimes the urgency of business analyst tasks can conflict with the time needed for through testing. And talking about the bias toward on work, I would say that working as two roles as business analyst involved in testing, there is increased risk that you might overlook the certain issues, because you're already familiar with requirements and assumptions that guide within development. If you decide to let's say if you decide to take responsibility and for combining of both positions in your project on the future one, I'd like to share some tips with you guys. First of all, there is about the clear role boundaries. Is while you are fulfilling both roles, it's essential to clearly define when you're acting as a business analyst and where you're acting as a tester. You should segregate this role, segregate your responsibilities, and make the picture as clear as possible for you, for team management, or for other one who is involved in your activities as well. You need to pursue your time management, because set aside dedicate time for each role. You need to make sure that you're not dividing your attention so thinly your neither roles gets the focus it deserves. um, Effective collaboration or support collaboration. I guess that the collaboration is one of the mandatory responsibilities for both of roles separately. So despite the handling roles, you don't have to isolate yourself from the team. You don't have to be segregated. You need to try yourself to keep communication with the team, be open with them, ensure that you're not missing out with the valuable insights from developers, other and analysts, whoever, testers, managers, etc. And the last tip I would like to share with you is about the using various tool and techniques, because leverage software tools to manage requirements, test cases, and defects. This practice will help keep both organized, arrays organized, and give you a clear overview of the project status. So that's it for advices. And our story is going to be finished. And taking opportunity, I would like to see some words about the conclusion. So when you decide that to combine both of roles, a business analyst as a quality assurance engineer, being on the same project, um, you need to mm, make sure that keep in mind that being on the both roles can be a highly rewarding experience, offering a more holistic view of the project life cycle. I would say that the combination of two positions in the one project requires careful management of time or responsibilities, along with a strong understanding of the business, both business needs, and I would say the technical constraints as well. If it done well, the dual role can greatly enhance project efficiency. I would say that improve product quality and maybe foster stronger communications with the team. So this was about conclusion, and it was our last slide for this presentation. Appreciate for your attention, guys, and I guess it's all for it. And I'm ready to provide my answers on based on your questions. I'm stop sharing.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Tahir. Yes, we have a question. We have two questions from John. Yeah. First question from John to you, Tahir. Who was in charge of the product consistency and architecture, also of compliance with the vision, compliance of the expectation?
Well, let me rephrase this question for myself. As far
Mhm.
as I understand, we are talking about the issues or complaints um, being on the BA and QA in the same role within the architecture and project issues, right?
Mm, no, I think it's
Probably.
about compliance with the vision, compliance of the expectation. I
Um,
expect something,
yeah,
and
seems that I got it point.
mhm.
Well, as I said that combining the two roles, they definitely on the one hand, I would like to answer like this: that I had a lot of expectations. First of all, that being on this business analyst and quality assurance in the same project, I expect to obtain and gather as much experience as possible, and Actually, I became it true because definitely, despite of the stressful cases I faced them every time, I definitely obtained the expected skills, experience, and visions about the two roles. I hope that it definitely will be definitely useful being on the current project, on the future one. Regarding the negative expectations,
Mhm.
as I said, this is very stressful job. The stressful case to combine the um, two different, however similar in some particular cases, positions. So I would say that you became, let's say, less. Um, okay, I would say that you recognize the stress as a normal part of, is a usual part of your job, of your entire life. I would say there is a pros and cons anyway.
Mhm. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay,
one last
next
question.
next question from John. Mhm. Was in the demo an automatic part of the spring review meeting?
What the
No?
demo? Sorry, can you repeat it one more time, please?
Uh, wasn't the demo an
Okay.
automatic part of the spring review meeting?
Well, as I said during the last project, we had so-called two-part of demo. The major demo was conducted when the whole development process um, was ready, and we were ready to go to our release with the already completed user stories and task and change or critical request documents as well. And the second part of demo was, this is a mid demo, I would say, that before our deployment process, we shared the our media results with the all stakeholders, all guys who were involved. And yeah, definitely the both parts of them were automatically parts, depend parts of our job, I would say. You're right.
Mhm. Okay, thank you. And next question. Marianne
Mm.
asks you about, oh, in your case, the project required this change something around there. But do you know if the market is looking for such complexity? Is one single person?
I think it depends on the market, and then if I wouldn't say that it depends on the whole
Mm-hmm.
market. I would say that it depends on the company, or even the project requirements, or what definitely project needs. If the budget, like if there are similar case that I had faced to, I mean, they combine the two roles into one, it definitely saves the budget, and I mean the any kind of extra effort on the project. But it's very hard for you if there is your first requirement, first experience, or even not first. It's hard to say that it's definitely should take place. I mean, they combine the two different positions should take place in each kind of project. It's very individual, I would say. Then, so
Okay,
that's it.
thanks. And John,
Mhm.
John wants to clarify about mhm, about reliable architecture on the project.
What definitely is necessary to say?
No, okay. The all questions.
Sorry, John.
My guess is what the product owner was in charge of the vision. Yeah. But what someone in it was in charge of the solid architecture.
In our current, well, not current, I mean, in our previous project, the solution architecture was marked at the segregate role in the project. And our architecture was not responsible for gather and elicitation information, data for our business solution, user, and other type of requirements. and so our architecture had own scope of responsibilities, and we also, yeah, it definitely was also useful to communicate with him, because, as you know, the no one kind of project can be realized without the architecture view, architecture solutions, and decisions. But as I understood the question, that our architecture unit was not, as I said, was not responsible for requirements, but his effort was, was definitely and obviously useful for a whole of team, especially for me when we face into case of let's say preparation, the visual part of our requirements, creating some charts, diagrams, etc. So in this case, for instance, I also ping him up to provide some communications and visions about them. So
Hmm. Thanks. Okay, Tahir, next question.
okay.
Have you officially transitioned from a QA role to a BA role by appearing for an assessment? If yes, any tips?
Well, in the let's say in our company, it's possible to change the your primary skill and change, yeah, from the first one to the second one. From, for example, from QA to BA, or vice versa. Anyway, for current moment, I aspire to obtain as much as possible corresponded B skills, to have the to obtain this secondary business analysis skill. I'm not sure that I will change my primary skill to as a functional tester to a BA1 new, but who knows what will be in the future. For now, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not able to predict. So
Mm-hmm.
regarding the tips, I think that the large scope of the corresponding information about them, but the main tip I would like to highlight is find out the opportunity to um, try yourself, to prove yourself being as a business analyst, as I did, being in the project, because the theoretical basis, is quite important part of our job in your education. If you even, especially if you decide to switch your skills, but the practical experience, in my personal opinion, have lar- more priorities, prioritized part of work. I would say.
Mhm. Okay, next
What else?
question.
Hmm.
Yes, 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 else.
I,
Okay,
yeah, please
did
go
you
ahead.
get project opportunities as BA after moving out of the project based on just one project experience as BA?
Um,
Yes.
well, as I said in the beginning of our presentation, that I have started my as associate career of associate business analyst in last project by combining two positions in the frame of the one project as well. However, for right now, I'm fully concentrated as a junior BA, being on another project. Uh,
Okay.
so
So good.
that's it.
Okay, next question.
Mhm.
What will be the first step if you wanted to move from a QR role to BA? And what should be the approach?
First of all, as I said, that I would recommend you to pay your attention on the, um, let's say, practical tasks, and find out the probably a sandbox project, or even the one of the most, I would say, valuable advices is just call anyone who might help you with the mentor, because during the working on the one project, there was a mentor from our business analyst unit from Kazakhstan who also facilitate with his advices, feedbacks, helps, and other support. It also helped me to be more organized at the beginner business analyst, and help me work in his tips and advices and other supporting materials, help me to um, work, obtain new background, obtain new skills, being the practical junior BA on the project as well. So
Так. Мгм. You know, it's also it's a second.
yeah,
It's the last.
please.
It's the last. It's the last
Okay,
question.
yeah, please go ahead.
Must be okay. Let me. No. We
It's not
have
fast.
not last. Yes. So
Hmm.
sorry. Okay. It's about from John.
Okay.
Uh, was there CID and CDD, and who was in charge of considering quality of the tests? Maybe it's about automatically test. No.
Well, if we are talking about the automatically test, we had a segregate unit for that in the scope in my previous project, I mean. So um, I'm not sure that I'm ready to describe the details about the automatical tester, because there was another scope of activities. However, when I connected and communicated with our AQA engineer, my responsibility was provided all with all necessary details and data for his out tasks that he covered by his tools, by his instruments. So
Okay. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Let me check. No. No. It's the last question. Yes. It's the
Ah,
last question.
great. Thank you for your question, guys.
Okay,
It's very
thank you, Taya.
productive.
So very,
Thank
very
you.
interesting. Very interesting. Thank you,
Thank you, Tatiana.
all who joined us. Yes, and and what? And I hope we see you next Tech Talk. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.